I frequently talk about the wonder days of the arcade. It was a big part of my childhood. Going to the arcade, playing with my dad or some friends, or even there were cases where we went there and we ended up battling it out with some random person, or teaming up and making a new friend. It was you and someone else going up against what was a pretty tough game. The visuals stunning, the sound deafening, and the action engaging. It felt like no matter what game, good, bad, impressive or not, it was all heightened during that experience because being a young kid, your lifeline was the amount of quarters that you had in your pocket. Without those, you were done. No more game, no more fun. It was time to go home. You had to use them wisely, you had to learn how to play better, giving you even more value, and hopefully extending out the game time that you had. Turning $5 into quarters felt like you were a god. What a fun time that was, and I look back on many of those games very fondly. I played and loved a lot of the beat-em-ups, shoot-em-ups, and all other kinds of games. Arcades were about fast action, and recently I had the chance to try out Neon Inferno, and this is looking like something for arcade fans to keep an eye out for. Neon Inferno blends this anime cyberpunkish style with Sunset Riders-esque shooting action. You can blow enemies away in both the fore and backgrounds of the levels. You need to keep an eye on both. The action is explosive, the style very high, presentation is stellar. Look, what you need to make a statement as your introduction to something. If at all possible, do it well, and hook the player, gain our interest. If you don't, there is a good chance that we'll move on to something else, especially with so many options out today. But when picking up and getting to spend some time with this Neon Inferno, yes, of course, I was brought back to being a kid again, and now from the comfort of my own home, and hopefully with a few more quarters than before. This has the makings of something special. As it pertains to the gameplay, think of this as a side-scrolling shooter. You blast enemies coming at you from all angles. There are some interesting gameplay elements that give it some fun twists. Gun sounds are immediately impactful, very nice bang to them. Along with this, you can also deflect enemy bullets. This you can use as your defensive option, but it also doubles as a means to be offensive too. If you have the energy charged up, you can hold down a deflection, and then you can slow down time and can change the direction of those bullets, hitting specific targets if you so choose. This is a fun way to sort of reward deflection, and then add on to it another cool attack. The deflection move can double as a melee attack as well. Along with this, having the ability to shoot enemies in the background of a level. Here you can stand in place, just firing off aiming as enemies are coming at you. A dodge is another means for evading fire as well. The prospect of having all these elements work together definitely creates interesting and fun action. So as it pertains to what I played, it's only the first level. The game is due out in November, and you can play the demo now if you'd like. I honestly would highly recommend you check it out. I was impressed just from the first level. You start out with a killer intro cutscene, with plenty of style and some appreciated information on our two leads. The first level is thoroughly great. In short, this feels like Cyberpunk Sunset Riders, and it's really, really good. The first level is broken out into 3 parts. The first takes place on the streets as you are mopping up enemies, and then needing to contend with both being within the fore and backgrounds, sometimes even at the same time. This is where things get a bit tricky as you try to contend with that pairing. The second part of the level takes the action to you being on a motorcycle, shooting bad guys and being able to both shoot in different planes, and even being able to change lanes too. The last part is a boss fight, which pairs fighting enemies and parts of him in both the background and foreground as well. When the action throws enemies in both planes, I feel like that is where the intensity is even higher. Even on normal, the game was still challenging, and I do like that you have a life bar as well. I beat the first boss on a second go around, and just barely did it. It was very satisfying. Depending on the difficulty, you get checkpoints, and mine popped me right back at the boss. It seems to maintain that high level of challenge that you would expect from these games, along with the accessibility options for newer or even lesser skilled players to then enjoy them too. My normal mode is training for me to do harder and even more. Yeah, this was great. With my very brief time with this game, this is how you sell a game, a killer demo. I am locked in and now very excited to try the full game out. It looks like local co-op is going to be a thing in this game as well. You can play the demo in co-op if you want. Both the action and presentation are on a high level. It has plenty of style, the music is awesome. Another important element of these games was to have a soundtrack that very much complemented and even helped to fuel the action too. Each track that I've listened to so far is great, as it pertains to any issues that I have identified with my time with this early build. At the moment, the worst I had was some stuttering, which popped up more so on my second go around when I played the demo as the chick. It was pretty bad around the boss, and maybe this is just a situation where the game needs to be optimized a bit more. With this being a demo, the guts and honestly bulk of my experience was stellar, so this part stood out a bit more to me. But hopefully they can iron this out before launch. With this coming out in November, I worry that it might be something that could get overlooked with all the bigger games now being in full swing. But for gamers that remember and love retro games, along with enjoying these arcade-like experiences, this seems to be something that will be right up our alley. I recommend you keep an eye out on Neon Inferno, and it appears that this is also coming to consoles too. What are your thoughts on all this? Have you heard of or had the chance to play the Neon Inferno demo? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.